So welcome to corporate Bhagavad Gita. There are prayers on my screen. Hope you can see it and you can repeat with me. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilita Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vande Aham Shri Guru Shiktapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Arpunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagapate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavani Shri Vishabhanu Sindhu Kamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Pitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So welcome again to Corporate Bhagavad Gita. We are discussing, we'll continue from where we had stopped, that is from the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the division of faith. And we were at verse number, we completed 10, so we'll go to 11. Okay. So before that, a little bit of background of this particular chapter. So in this is 17th chapter. So the concept of the 17th chapter is continuing from the 15th chapter and the 14th chapter also included. So in the 15th chapter, Krishna says there is a tree which grows, which is inverted. Roots are going up, branches are going down. So basically, we never see such a tree. Okay, but it is the tree of the Vedas. Krishna says it is the tree of the Vedas. So it's a reflection. Basically, only in the reflection can we see the roots going up and the leaves, branches going down. Okay, so this is the tree of the Vedas. So tree of the Vedas, and various branches are, there are various fruits on those branches, like economic development, pleasures, various karma kanda sections, and the jivatma, that is the soul, he is moving from one branch to another and trying to enjoy all the fruits that are there. When he gets frustrated with all this, he goes towards the root, which is liberation, and from liberation he goes to the real tree. So from reflection he goes to the real tree. Okay, so in the real tree, there is where Krishna and all his pastimes, his holy dham, his devotees, everyone is there, and there he reaches liberation in the Vaikuntha planets. So that was discussed in the 15th chapter. Okay, now the question is how to go from this reflection towards the real tree. What is required? That was the topic of the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So in the 16th chapter, what is required to go towards liberation? So we went through a list of qualities that one needs to develop, and in this table we can see fearlessness, purification, cultivation of knowledge, charity. Like this, there are many more than 26 qualities. There are 26 qualities which Krishna says this is all knowledge. Well, this is required to go towards liberation. Now, what qualities lead us towards degradation? That we don't go towards liberation, but we go down in the tree towards leaves and fruits. That he says as demoniac qualities, asuric qualities. which are nothing but these 6 ones: pride, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance. Okay, so these take us towards degradation. Now, how to save oneself from going towards degradation? That was the final last verses of the 16th chapter. So if we go the 16th chapter, in the very last verses, Krishna says how to elevate ourselves. Krishna says there are 3 gates to hell: lust, greed, anger. One should give up. But how to give up? One should perform acts which are conducive to self-realization, to Atma Sakshatkar, towards spirituality. But how to do it? Through the help of scriptures, through Shastra. One should therefore understand what is duty, what is not duty, not act according to his whims, through the knowledge of scriptures. And how do we approach scriptures? Through the help of a guru. So under a guru, we should learn the scriptures and then we'll gradually elevate it. Okay, so this was what the concept was. Now in the 17th chapter, Arjuna has this question. There are some who don't take to guru, who don't take fully to spiritual life, who don't are into material life also. What happens to them? Those who do not follow the principle of scriptures but worship according to imagination. What happens to them? So Krishna says, whatever one does, he does it in the 3 modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. Sattvagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. Okay, and that is the result he will get. So in the 14th chapter, we went through the list of Sattvagun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. Last time also we went through this table, but it is always good to go again into this table. So as the name suggests, Sattva is good, Rajas is passion, Tamas is ignorance. Sattva means you will get good result. Rajas is there will be passion, we have to do some work, fruitive work, there will be some misery, klesha. And Tamas is ignorance, so there will be some madness in this. Okay, all 3 are required, but not at the same time. We have to use it in different scenarios. Okay, in Sattva, goodness, we have real knowledge. In passion, we have a tendency, unlimited desires are there. We want to fulfill it. We want to work hard for it. In Tamas, there is indolence, sleep, and some kind of madness is also there. What is the result we get? We get happy in goodness. We are active in passion, and we are helpless and mad in ignorance. Okay. So coming back to our 17th chapter. So if anybody doing worship, he will either be doing in goodness, passion, or ignorance. Okay. So he'll get that kind of result. So many things we read. First thing is, those who are in goodness, they will worship the devatas. In passion, they will worship the demons, rakshasas. And in ignorance, they will worship ghosts and pishachas. Okay. Even the food is of 3 kinds. What is even sacrifice, austerity, charity? This is also of 3 types. 3 types means 3 modes. Okay, there are also 3 modes. So we discuss the food part of it. Food in mode of. Okay, so we discuss the food. So food in mode of goodness, as the name suggests, there is something good coming out of it. So what is the goodness? It is duration of life, purifies one's existence. It is juicy, fatty, wholesome, pleasing to heart. Okay, it is very pleasing to heart. So these foods will give us happiness, satisfaction. Then certain foods which are too bitter, salty, hot, pungent, dry, burning, they will give us what? Distress, misery, disease. Too much of spicy food, too much of food which is very hot and it is very spicy, it gives trouble to our stomach, right? People become obese, people become diseased, there is upset in the stomach. So it causes distress, misery, and sometimes disease also. And then, in mode of ignorance, we discuss this: food which is prepared more than 3 hours, food that is tasteless, decomposed, putrid, means non-vegetarian food. Hmm? You know, let's take one example. Let's take the example of grapes. How many of you like grapes here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Many people like grapes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let's say I make a juice out of it and I keep it for many days. After few days, can I take the juice of the grapes? Hmm? When it is fresh, I can drink it, I can eat the grapes, I don't feel anything. But when I make the juice and I keep it for many days, what happens? What gets created? What happens to the grape juice? Does it remain grape juice or what happens? Do you know? From the grapes, they make wine. So the grape juice, they ferment it for many days. And then that grape juice turns into wine. Now, if I drink wine, what will happen? It will have intoxicating effect, right? How is intoxicating effect? It is a little bit of madness. So you see, same food, if we eat it fresh, it is in mode of goodness. But if we keep it, ferment it for many days, it becomes what? Ignorance. It becomes tamogun. It makes people intoxicated. Getting? Same with beer. The alcoholic content of it. What is it basically? They make beer of barley or wheat or some other thing. It is, we eat chapatis of barley or wheat, right? Nothing happens. We don't feel intoxicated. But the same water, if it is kept for many days, fermented, and then we consume it, it becomes beer and there's alcoholic content in it, and that takes us to mode of darkness. Okay? Any questions now, till now? Anyone has any questions? You can unmute and speak. Any questions?
Uh, no, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. Okay, so last time we discussed about food. Similarly, we'll enter now into text number 11. So like this, even yajna, which is translated as sacrifice, it is also of three types: sattvagun, rajagun, and tamogun. So let's read this. Apalha kankhabir yagyo vididishto ya ijyate yastva evam eveti manaha samadhyana satvikaha. So this is text, chapter number 17 of Bhagavad Gita, text number 11. We'll continue. Of sacrifices, that is yajna, if the sacrifice is performed according to the scripture, according to the Vedic scripture, as a matter of duty, where one doesn't desire any reward, this is said to be in mode of goodness. It is sattvagun. So here what happens is, the yajna that one is performing, there are many yajnas that we perform. There are fire yajnas to be performed. Once even duty is also a yajna. So in the Vedas it is said that if you perform this particular yajna, then you will get something out of it, right? You will get money, you may get some facility, next life heaven, like that. So there are some fruits mentioned. But Some people do yajna just as a sake of duty, not that I want from it. Why does one does it as a duty? In the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, yeah, why one does it as a duty? Because he says that in this world, he created this system wherein we perform sacrifices for Vishnu, and the devatas will be happy by that sacrifice and they will give us what we want. So, long time back we discussed this, but I'll just show you in short what I mean. So, this is cycle of sacrifice. What it says, so using the Vedas, we do our karmas and we perform yajna, that is sacrifice. Then the devatas become happy. They provide us rain. From the rain, we get grain. From grain, we sustain ourselves. We offer that food back to Sri Krishna, back to the Yajnaharta. And from the Yajnaharta, we take again the Vedas like this. This is a cycle of sacrifice. Okay. Now, last time we considered, we compared it to, what is this word? Can anyone read? What is it? TAX. TAX stands for TAX. Tax. So in this world now we have this experience of tax. This month we are going to pay our taxes, to file our taxes, right, to government. If you have forgotten, this month end we have to finish our filing. So why do we pay taxes to the government? Because they provide us road, electricity, medical facility, so many other things with that money, isn't it? The governments do. So we have to pay taxes. Okay. Similarly, this universal government is there, right? This universal government and this local government is there. It also provides us a lot of things. What does it provide? It provides us rain, sun, moon, Vayu. Dhanvantari is what? Is Ayurveda. Like that. It provides all of this. Just like a local government provides what? Water supply, electricity, roads, hospitals, defense. And then if we perform our taxes and all that, then government doesn't come after us. And those who commit crime and all that, for them there is justice department, jails and jailer. Similarly, in the universal government also, who is taking care of irrigation department? The devata named Indra. Who is taking care of the light in the morning? The Surya, through his sun. Who is taking the night light? Moon, Chandra. Vayu, air. Dhanvantari, Ayurveda, medicine. Kartike, Ganesh, these are like the defense system. Many Rakshasas they attack, so they fight on our behalf. And then when we perform all these duties and yajna, then we get next life into the Swarga and all that. If we don't perform them, then there is Yamraj, placement department, jail and jailer. So there one will get punishment. So this is the universal government. Now in this we have to perform duties and yajna. So they can be performed as a duty also, right? They can be performed as a duty. So that's what this verse says, that these yajnas have to be performed as a duty. Duty means what? You are not doing it for the reward. The reward will come. It is not like the reward doesn't come. The reward will come, but it is not done for the only purpose of getting reward. Let's say the army people. Do you think the army people fight for our country for the salary that they make? Any thoughts on that? Do you think they are fighting for the country just because they are getting salary?
They have patriotism also, Prabhu.
What does patriotism in their understanding means? That this is my duty. If a policeman saves you from a crime, from a criminal, and then we say thank you to him, what does the policeman say? A good policeman, what he will say?
It is
Madam,
his
sir,
duty.
this is was my
Yeah.
duty. I am performing my duty. If he was not a dutiful person, what he will say? Madam, sir, I saved you. Can you give me 5,000 rupees? Right? He will ask
Yes,
for bribe. He will ask for some reward. So, duty means you're not thinking, you're not doing it for the sake of that you're going to get something out of it. That is not the only aim. A policeman is saving somebody. It is not the only aim. I need to save him because my month's salary won't come. He's not doing that. He's doing it as a duty. So that is mode of goodness. So even the yajnas that we perform, the duties that we do, the fire yajnas that we do, all this should be done as a duty. The reward will come. Okay, the reward will come. But that was not the only purpose. You're getting? That was not the only purpose. There are some people, if there is no reward, they won't work only. Right? If a mother takes care of the child, the baby, is she paid? She's not paid. Right? She's doing her duty out of love for the child. But if the babysitter, if we tell them, okay, please come tomorrow, but you know what, we are not going to give you money for tomorrow's babysitting, do you think the babysitter will come?
no, they'll not come to.
It won't come. For them the reward is more important, so it like that it is. So you understand the concept of duty and reward kind of thing. Okay. So yeah, so we do all the yajnas as a duty, not keeping the reward in front and all that. It's a duty. It's a duty towards whom? Towards the devatas, towards the supreme lord, towards the param ishvara Sri Krishna. So that's what. Hmm? Like we take care of our parents, right? It is expected you take care of the parents because parents have taken care of you. Okay, in their old age you take care. It is not done with the reward that my parent will give all their property on my name. Does anyone think like that? Oh, I will have to serve my parents because then only I will get the what inheritance, property. Then only I'll get this. Do you think people should do serve their parents with that motive?
No, they should not, Prabhu.
But the inheritance, the property will come eventually, right?
Hmm.
It will come, right? Eventually, it will come. So if the child does it as a duty, eventually he'll get. But he doesn't have this thought process that I'm doing it only because I need to get my property. No, right? Then his whole heart won't be there. So we need to understand when we talk about duty, it is related to the heart also. The heart is there in it, not for reward, but for duty. Okay? You get this point?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, what is the result of goodness? As the name suggests, result will be good. One will feel happy. So, there are two scenarios. The policeman says, it is my duty. Okay. Other policeman says, it was my duty, ma'am, but you need to give me 5,000 rupees. Now, which policeman will be truly happy in their heart? You tell me. Which policeman will be truly happy in that? One who took a bribe or one who didn't take a bribe?
Who didn't take a bribe?
Why do you think that one who didn't take a bribe is more happier than one who took a bribe? We need to go a little deeper. Then we can understand what is this shloka trying to tell. the happiness that one gets when he does any selfless act is more deeper, is more sustainable than the happiness when one gets something in their, gets a reward or something, right? Because the heart is satisfied. The heart is satisfied. In the other case, the heart is not satisfied. The mind is satisfied because the mind had told, na, get 5,000 rupees. And mind will never be satisfied, but the heart can be satisfied. When the heart is satisfied, a person is very happy. So this is what is happens. If we do it as a selfless duty, then definitely the result of goodness will be there, which will be basically happiness. Hmm? Okay, we'll get into the purport. Any question, comment, you can interrupt me. Unmute and speak up. I will stop and we will discuss on the point. We will discuss on the question. So let's read the purport. The general tendency is to offer sacrifice with some purpose in mind. But here it is stated that sacrifice should be performed without any such desire. It should be as a matter of duty. For example, the performance of rituals in temples or in churches or in other religions, generally they are performed with the purpose of some material benefit. Okay. But that is not mode of goodness. One should go to a temple or church as a matter of duty, offer respects to the Supreme Personal Godhead, and offer flowers and eatables without any purpose of obtaining material benefit. Okay, he should go to temple without thinking that okay, I will achieve, I will, uh, without the thinking that okay, um, I'm not going just for the material benefit. No, I'm going as a, it is a duty also. Everyone thinks that there is no use in going temple to worship God, but worship for economic benefit is not recommended in scriptural injunctions. One should simply go to offer respects to the deity. That will place one in mode of goodness. It is the duty of every civilized man to obey the injunctions of scriptures and offer respects to the supreme personality of Godhead. So selfless duty will satisfy the heart. Okay. For who is not doing selfless duty, they are a little selfish in their life. They are always worried. They are worried when no, someone will steal from me the money. What I should do with that money? So mind will always be disturbed. But a dutiful person is very satisfied in his life. I did my duty, right? So that is more satisfaction. Abhisandhaya tu phalam, text number 12. Dambhartam api chaiva yat ijjate bharata shrestha tam yagnam vidhi rajasam. Whether sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, O chief of the Bharata, you know to be in mode of passion. But there are many people who perform these sacrifices for material benefit, or they perform it for the sake of pride. They want to tell, you know, I perform this particular sacrifice and people will congratulate me. Hmm? People will look at me, they'll respect me. So some pride is there. This kind of sacrifice is done in mode of passion. What happens in passion? Misery. So with such people who go for name and fame, okay, who go for name and fame, if that name and fame doesn't come to them, then they get very sad. They get very sad, they get very disturbed. Right? They will say, okay, why I did all this? My name didn't come in the newspaper. So that is in mode of goodness, passion, where there will be misery. Sometimes sacrifice rituals are performed for elevation to heavenly planets or for some material benefit in this world. Such sacrifices or ritualistic performances are considered to be in mode of passion. Text number 13. Vidhihinam astrananam Sushasna. vidihinam ashashta annam mantrahinam adakshinam shraddha vihiritam yagnam tamasam parichakshate. Any sacrifice performed without regards to the direction of the scriptures, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of the Vedic hymns and remuneration to the priest, and without faith is considered to be in mode of ignorance. So, sacrifice, if it is done in mode of ignorance, then one doesn't care what is there in the scripture. I will do my way. Without distribution of prasad, there has to be distribution of food offered in the yajna to the brahmanas and people in general. Okay. Without chanting Vedic hymns, the Vedic mantras have to be chanted in sacrifices, but people perform such sacrifices without chanting them. And then remuneration to the priest, dakshina. You heard about this word, dakshina?
Yes, Prabhu.
That dakshina is not salary, it is not a price. It is not begging also. It is something that the host decides according to his ability to give something in terms of grains or money to the one who helped you perform this yajna. Okay. So dakshina has to be given, and without faith is considered to be in mode of ignorance. Without faith means I am just doing this because my parents are telling me, but really I don't have any trust in it. Many people who do like that, they make a show um, of performing sacrifices. Okay. And when nobody is looking at them, then um, if nobody is looking at them, then they will just do whatever they want. Somebody is looking at them, then they will make sure that it comes in the newspaper. So faith in mode of darkness or ignorance is actually faithlessness. It's actually faithlessness. Sometimes people worship some devata or demigod just to make money and then spread the money for recreation, ignoring the scriptural injunctions. Yeah, we have seen that some people, they may ask for money and all that, but they'll use it for enjoyment, for their own enjoyment. That money should be used for temple purposes. Okay. Otherwise, it will become mode of ignorance. Mode of ignorance means it will become like madness. Instead of helping person, one will become a more um, self-centered and selfish. Okay. Some people worship some devata just to make money and then spend it on one's own recreation, ignoring the scriptural injunctions. Such ceremonies show religiosity and are not accepted as genuine. They are all in mode of darkness. They produce a demoniac mentality and do not fit humans. Okay. Text number 14. Deva Dvija Guru Pragnya Pujanam Saucham Arjavam Brahmacharyam Ahimsa Shariram Tam Uchate. Austerities of the body. So these are tapa. Tapa means to voluntarily do some um, is to voluntarily um, is to voluntarily do certain tapasya, okay, for spiritual advancement, not for any, material thing. If it comes, it's okay. If it doesn't come, it doesn't. Okay, okay, fine. Now, austerity of body. We get this body. So, what we should do with this body? We should worship the Supreme Lord, the Brahmanas, the spiritual master Guru, and superiors like father, mother, even teachers, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. This is austerity of body. Cleanliness means both internal, external. Externally, we'll take bath. Internally, by chanting Vedic mantras, we'll keep ourselves clean. Simplicity, simple life. Celibacy. Celibacy has two meanings. Those who are in brahmachari ashram, complete celibate. They won't have any association of women. And sannyas ashram, same. Another is how celibacy is there in married life. It is there only with wife. Hmm? The connection is only with the wife. So these are all tapasya of the body. Okay. The Supreme Godhead here explains the different kind of austerity and penances. First, he explains the austerity and penances practiced by the body one should offer or learn to offer. Respects to God or the Devatas. The perfect qualified Brahmanas and the spiritual master and superiors like father, mother, or any person who is conversant with Vedic knowledge. This should be given proper respect. One should practice cleanliness oneself, external, internal. He should learn to become simple in behavior. He should not do anything which is not sanctioned by the scriptural injunctions. He should not engage in sex outside material life. Material life. This is also part of cleanliness. Okay, that the sexual life is only between husband and wife, not outside of marriage. For sex is sanctioned in the scriptures only in marriage and not otherwise. This is called celibacy. These are penance and austerities as far as body is concerned. Text number 15. Anudvega karam vakyam satyam priyam hitam च यत् स्वाध्याय अभिजा स्वाध्याय याभ्यसन sanam chaiva mam vayam tapa uchyate. Now similarly, austerity is a speech also. How to talk properly in mode of goodness. Words which are that are truthful. Words which are truthful. Okay. Pleasing. Not agitating. Beneficial. Not agitating to others. And also regularly chanting Vedic literature. So how to use speech in mode of goodness? Truthful. One has to be truthful, cannot tell lies. The moment we tell lies, we undergo great stress to hide it, to hide the truth, right? So we cannot remain simple then after that. Pleasing. The words should be pleasing. The other person should not be agitated by our words. Okay. Beneficial. Beneficial means benefit for that person, benefit for oneself. And also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. So you must have seen in many Brahmana families, the children in many Brahmanical families, they will recite the Vedas, the Rig Veda, Bhagavad Gita, so many Ashtakas, they will recite. Okay, Sanskrit is a language which is learned by recitation. Just recently, 5,000 years ago, because people are going to lose their um, sorry, where was I? In regularly reciting Vedic literatures. You must have seen in very Gurukuls, children are taught to recite the Vedic literatures, right? When they do that, they develop mode of goodness in them. Okay, so that is the power of reciting Vedic literature. You develop mode of goodness. One should not speak in such a way that so as to agitate the mind of others. There are some people who just want to agitate others. We know one president, right? He uses Twitter to tweet and agitate the whole world, right? Anything he speaks, it's very agitating, isn't it? Yes or no? Huh?
Yes.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Very, very true. Yeah,
Yeah,
very true.
we see in basically in politics, we see, politicians, they just speak to agitate the other person, agitate the crowd, right? So such are not good sign. You should not so much agitate the people and all that. When are we to agitate the person? Can you tell us what in what scenarios you have to agitate the person?
When there is an emergency.
If there is
Mm.
emergency, what kind of emergency? If there is fire, if there is fire in the house, then you will shout on top of the voice, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
To
Prabhu.
get the person out of the house, save the person. That is the emergency. Then, if a person is policing, they have to shout loudly, isn't it? Kshatriyas, they have to shout loudly to do crowd control, to fear the criminal. They have to shout loudly. So they have to agitate, but only on the job. Okay. Let's read this. Of course, when a teacher speaks, he can speak the truth for the instruction of his students. But such a teacher should not speak to those who are not his students if he will agitate their mind. So, this being truthful, right? It's okay. In most of the cases, we have to be truthful. But in some cases, we have to, you know, present the truth such that the audience can digest it properly. If there is some death in the family, generally you will see that people will not upfront say about this truth. Okay, they will wait for a situation where they can handle the person who has lost his parents or whatever, and then they will convince and tell him the truth, isn't it? If right there on the phone, if they tell, someone related to you has died, that will agitate the person, right? So so sometimes you have to say the same truth in a palatable way. Okay, this is penances as far as talking is concerned. So how to talk? Beneficial, truthful. Besides that, one should not talk nonsense. The process of speaking in spiritual circles is to say something upheld by the scriptures. Every line is very important. Even in scriptures, in philosophical debates, in Vedic scriptures, like, whatever you speak, there should be some shastra backing for it. Shastra backing means he should tell, okay, I read this thing and this is found in the, say, Ramayana, Mahabharata, or some Vedic literature. Just like a lawyer. He says such a case had come 50 years back. There the lawyer said this, the judge said this. Okay. One should at once quote from the scriptural authority to back up what he's saying. So if the lawyer says, this is my argument, then he will have to say that this argument is based on this particular rule found in this particular book on page number this and page number that. Then it sounds very authentic, right? So like that, we have to be authentic. At the same time, such talk should be very pleasurable to the ears. By such discussion, one may derive um, um, the highest benefit and elevate human society. This is a limitless. There is a limitless stock of literature, and one should study this. This is called penances of speech. Now, penances of the mind. Mana prasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samsuddhir iti etat tapo manasam uchyate. So what is the austerity of the mind? The mind should be satisfied. We do some work, we get something out of it, and we should be satisfied. Simple. Simplicity. We should be simple. If we are very complex, we are cheating propensity, then people won't like us, we will break relationships. But generally it is the simple people who will maintain relationships. Gravity in thought. Gravity means there should be some deeper understanding in what we are telling. We should not just throw things up in the air, which make no sense. What things make sense, we should talk that properly. Then mind should be self. To make the mind austere is to detach it from sense gratification. It should be so trained that it can always be thinking of doing good for others. So that training is required, where one keep thinking how to do good for others. The best training for the mind is gravity in thought. One should not deviate from Krishna consciousness and must always avoid sense gratification. To purify one's nature to become Krishna conscious. Satisfaction of the mind can be obtained only by to purify one's nature is to become Krishna conscious. Satisfaction of mind can be obtained only by taking the mind away from the thoughts of sense enjoyment. The more we think of sense enjoyment, the more our mind becomes dissatisfied. I had shown you one cartoon which says this point very nicely. Okay, people get attracted to new devices, then they buy it, then they'll get respect from others, but after 1 year another new device, new version of it is coming in the market. So you think, I need to buy that also. Okay, but what happens? One is frustrated and he's not satisfied with that device that he has set. Okay, he wants always new, but he's not satisfied with what he has. And ultimately he becomes angry. Okay, as we engage our mind in so many different ways for sense gratification, so there is no possibility of mind becoming lustful. The best course is to divert the mind on the purified men, divert the mind to the Vedic literature. The best course is to divert the mind to the Vedic literature, which is full of stories, as in the Puranas or Mahabharata. One should take advantage of this knowledge and become purified. The mind should be devoid of duplicity and one should think of the welfare of all. Silence means that one should always think of self realization. The person in Krishna consciousness observes perfect silence in this sense. Because he is only thinking of spirituality, that is also silence. Silence doesn't mean zero talk. Silence means our thought process, our talking is only on the most important thing in life, materially or spiritually. Let's say spiritually. So that is what it means by gravity. The person Krishna observes perfect silence in this sense. Control of the mind means detaching the mind from sense enjoyment. One should be straightforward in his dealings and thereby purifies existence. All these qualities together constitute austerity in mental activities. Anyone has any question at this point? Any question or comment? Hmm? Yes, any question or comment? You there?
Yes, Prabhu. Here, no,
Okay.
no comments.
Yes.
Okay. This particular line, if I tell you, pick up a character from Ramayana, whom will you pick up? Who will satisfy all of these?
Rama.
Yeah, Ram. Yes, Ram. Any other person?
Hanuman Prabhu.
Hanuman. Right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, I was thinking about Hanuman. Because Hanuman was glorified by Ram also. He was a monkey, but he was self-controlled. His talk, the way he spoke, so nicely he spoke. And we know he spoke nicely to Ravana also, but Ravana didn't listen. Then Ravana got punished by Hanuman. Okay, so we can see Hanuman with all these qualities. Whatever previously also we read, right? Um, Austerities of body. Hmm? So Hanuman is doing all these things. His body, worshipping the Supreme Lord, Brahmana, spiritual masters, superiors. He was clean. He was celibate also, simple. He was violent and he was non-violent. Can you explain me how he was non-violent? If I say Hanuman is non-violent, true or false? Hanuman is non-violent. True or false? Tell me.
True, Prabhuji.
What are your reasons for true?
Because Prabhuji, whatever violence violence means, because he was not engaged in violence. It is like this.
I mean, he fought the whole war, right?
Yeah, fighting war is not violence, Prabhuji.
It is violence, no?
Yeah, but that is like really duty. Duty.
It is dutiful.
Because,
What is the other way
yeah.
you want to explain?
Yeah, so the violence is we are not fighting war, but we are cruel to others. That is violence.
Okay, okay, good, good.
Hmm.
So, true is why? Because it was necessary violence. It was
Yes.
violence used to protect the weak from the evil. So when this is satisfied, okay, Okay, this condition is satisfied. That violence was used to protect the weak from the evil. It was a necessary thing. Then it is not violence, but it is non-violence. Okay. One more thing you said, cruelty, right?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
That was good. Violence, mm, um,
Harming others, like,
yeah.
yeah, hurting,
I mean,
hurting
violence
others.
does harm others, but
Uh, Dharm, like against our duties, prescribed duties.
okay, okay, okay. Okay. Dutiful and
Yeah,
not
dutiful.
due to cruel
Own,
mentality.
not due to own will.
Selfish. You can say selfish
Yeah,
also. It was
selfish,
selfish.
selfish motive. Yeah, not due
Yeah.
to selfish motive.
Good, good. Good, yeah, good points. Okay. Speech. He spoke truthful. He was very pleasing. It was for beneficial. The way he spoke to Ravana, it was beneficial for Ravana also, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, but Ravana didn't listen. It was not agitating to others. Ravana gave him the full, years, and he was always chanting the name of Rama and the Vedic literatures. Okay, how was his mind? He was always satisfied. Even as a monkey, he was satisfied. Monkeys are never satisfied, right? But Hanuman was satisfied. So once Sita gave a necklace to Hanuman, and what did Hanuman do?
Hmm. He started taking the individual jewels
Yeah,
that one is and
and
breaking
then
them.
they asked him, "Why are you doing?" He says, "There's no Ram in this, so I don't want."
Hmm. Hmm.
So his satisfaction was for Ram. How was he simple?
Yeah.
Once he saw, Sita wearing sindoor, and Ram became very happy, and he felt that I will also wear sindoor.
Hmm.
But why small? I will completely put on my whole body. So once he did that, so that's why his another name is Sindur Lal. You know, Sindur Dulala. That's why sometimes his body is painted what, orange, na? Orange or red. It is painted.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Geru color.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So he was very simple. So gravity. Whatever he spoke was full of shastra. When Vibhishan was about to surrender to Ram asked everyone, all the senior generals in the monkey army, Jamvan, Sugriva, Angada, he asked what we should do. What we should do. Sugriva said, he is Ravana's brother, he will be cunning. Let's not take him. And many had many, many different opinions. When it came to Hanuman, what did he say? He said, by his face, he looks very sincere. Vibhishan looks sincere. Second, he says, I personally saw that he tried to save me in the kingdom of Ravana. So therefore, I think he's a good man. By hearing this argument of Hanuman, Sri Ram accepted Vibhishan. So he gave very nice backing to whatever he said. Self-control. Can you tell how Hanuman is self-controlled? He visited Ravana's palace and there were so many women there and they were not properly dressed. But he didn't fall for them. Who was who was the king of Hanuman?
Raja Sugriv.
What happened to Sugriv once he got his wife back?
Yeah, he was lusty and
Yeah, he was lusty. He just enjoyed. Now I got the whole kingdom. He was enjoying. He forgot what he has to do. Then Lakshman had to come and remind him, isn't it?
Yeah.
But same thing didn't happen with Hanuman, right? He was very self-controlled. Purification of one's existence. Very, very pure person. So these are like, all these things we can see in Hanuman, we can see in many, many devotees. Okay. So it's 2 o'clock. Let's stop here. Any question or comment anyone has before we close? Anyone has any question or comment?
See, as this we are going further in the chapters, the subject matter is much more like specific, relevant, and more interesting. More interesting.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
Yeah.
In the 18th chapter also, we are going to discuss similar things only in the first half of the 18th chapter. So it will be, very clear. See, this is what it gives. Bhagavad Gita gives us clarity, right?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Hmm. So once we have clear, we come to what? We come to mode of goodness. In goodness, it's illuminating. It's prakasha. Prakashaka means it's jnana sangha. Now we are getting knowledge by which we know what is happiness, what is not happiness, what to do, what not to do, what is sinful reaction, what are the do's, don'ts, etc. Right? So now we are
Yeah.
coming to goodness. So definitely we'll become happy, right?
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So this is the power of knowledge. It brings us to goodness. Okay. Any other question or comment? Okay. So if no questions, we'll stop here. Thank you very much.